All right. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of, if you're watching, it's My Money with Patrina Dixon. And if you're listening, The Money Exchange. I'm so excited to have Annalisa here with me today. Hey, Annalisa.
Hey, Patrina, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the topic of making, what's the dollar amount can they make in a month? Like, you tell me
Oh,
what that is.
minimum, I would say $1,000 a month, and that's with very, very part-time hours. So, making more money, working less hours is like the overall goal that what I like to teach people when becoming a virtual assistant.
Yeah, so you heard it. A minimum of $1,000 a month you can make being a virtual assistant. So Annalisa is going to break it down for us. But before we jump in, I want to make sure if you are watching and you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's those letters right at the bottom in red, so you can't miss it. Make sure you do that. If you are listening, you should also follow on whichever platform that you're listening. And then please check out the show notes on either platform that you're listening, because it's going to be a lot of great links for you. Make sure you check that out. And with that, Annalisa, let's jump right in. Tell them how they can make $1,000 a month. Like, it what? There's so many different ways to do that. What's the way that you have found that have worked and that you have built into what you have today?
So I've been technically a virtual assistant about 2 years or so. Was able to grow my agency very, very quickly. So when I had my first client, and I was like, okay, this is not complex. It's fairly easy. An extra $1,000 a month, working like 10 hours a week. I was like, okay, what other entrepreneurs and business owners may need virtual assistant? Unbeknownst to me, everybody needed an assistant. So many entrepreneurs out there were looking for an assistant to take some of that burden off of their plate. So I did a little bit of research. What is it like for me to expand and kind of scale my business where it is a really profitable business for me, but while I'm not overbearing and overworking myself. So I went from one client to 3 clients to 4 clients to 5 clients, and now we have about 15 clients, and I built my own agency. So I actually have other people on my team that take on clients that help manage things for my agency, Elevated Assist, which is a virtual assistant and social media management agency.
So listen, as you talked about the time, and as I sit here, we're in 2021, and you said you built it over maybe 2 years or a little under that. That is during the pandemic. So you
Yeah.
started and grew a business from one client to an agency during a
Yes.
pandemic. So talk about that, because a lot of
Yes.
people, their business went the other way during the pandemic. So you started and built during that time. So talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like anyone who follows me on Instagram, any social media platform, I'm a huge proponent of having multiple streams of income. And I would say I would always have at least 2 streams of income. I have the 9 to 5. I may have like a part-time job where I consider like my fun money so I can spend on myself, right? But at the time during the pandemic, I'm a landlord, so I had rental income as well as my 9 to 5. But just during that time, I was just like, it's questionable times right now. So if my 9 to 5 let me go, would I be okay financially from a savings standpoint? Sure. But do you really want to rely on your savings if you were let go from your 9 to 5? So I was just like brainstorming, just thinking like, how can I monetize my skill set? How can I create additional streams of income for me? And the main thing for me is like, how can I stay in the comfort of my own home and make money? Because I don't want to leave. I don't want to go to no retail customer service job. I live in Ohio. It snows in the winter. Like, I don't want to leave my house. But I always say, like, if you position yourself correctly, the opportunities will come to you. So my first client actually reached out to me and asked me if I had experience doing admin assistance, admin work. And, my background is in healthcare administration. I currently work within the corporate space, and people are always surprised that I actually still have a 9 to 5 with everything I have going on. But prior to getting into leadership roles, I worked in receptionist and secretarial related roles. So yes, I have that experience. And I just thought in my head, oh, this is another stream of income for me. And I know it's not complex work if you're expecting me to be some sort of secretarial type of person, and I can work virtually. So I built it during the pandemic because there were CFOs at my company that were getting laid off. So I was just like, yeah, we're going to have to do something because I cannot just rely. I can't rely on one stream of income. It just felt unsafe to me. So, after I started working with one client, after a month or so, I really started to build the business, to put some things in place where I was able to grow it and create the foundation and start reaching out to people. And people were like, oh, wait, you got a virtual assistant business? I need a virtual assistant. So, I mean, it was almost that easy because I was already online, like just having financial discussions and just encouraging people to pay off their debt, and just manage their money a little bit better. So there was already that credibility there, like, okay, Annalisa knows what she's talking about. And then they found out, oh, you have a virtual assistant agency. Like, I would rather work with you because I kind of know you and I see you online. So, it really just grew from there. We actually don't really do any marketing for Elevated Assist right now.
Wow.
It's a lot of word of mouth, a lot of referrals, and people just find me on Instagram.
Now, I know, so I want you to talk a little bit about the fact that you teach others how to become virtual assistants and virtual assistants, and then also build their own agency if they want to. But I want you to talk a little bit about, okay, so it sounds like you got into it because you were, I don't want to say fearful of a 9-to-5 situation, but you were like, I need another stream just in case. Like, I want to be okay regardless of what happens.
Right.
I control my destiny. But then what sort of finances did it take for you to get started? So it sounds like you said, okay, I want to do this. I have these skills. People trust me. Let me just do this. Did it take any, like, work to get it started from a financial or any other perspective you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. So I love the business model of being a virtual assistant. I love the business model of creating a social media management business because it's a really low startup cost business as a service-based business. I mean, even during the time in the pandemic, I was planning on getting into the trucking business, and I'm sure we all know that that is a fairly expensive business to get into, and there is different expenses, and it's fairly costly. So to transition away from a business that I thought was going to be decent return, that was very expensive, to expanding something with virtual assistant where you can put out a couple $100s just to get the actual foundation of the business, your business name, your logo. I'm creating an LLC and documents needed between you and your client, but still a very, very low startup business where you can make that money back with your first client times 2, times 3. So, you're investing into the business, but it's easy to be able to make that money back.
Yeah. And then you're investing into yourself, right? So
Absolutely.
that small investment to invest in yourself, one, to have that empowerment that, whatever happens, you're ready for that. And then to bring clients on, and then to have your own business bank account as well. That's another part that you want to make sure that you add in. So now you've, low startup costs, you got into it, you like folks need it. And for those of you that don't know, if you don't think you need it, like just think about taking things off your desk and having somebody assist you with it in the time you get back in your day. So no matter what you do, from being a coach to being a consultant, being no matter what business that you have right now, having somebody to support you in that and providing ideas is just priceless. That's all I have to say about that. So Annalisa, talk to them about the money. So how did you know how much to charge your clients? You weren't in the business. You're saying that for a few hours a week, you can make $1,000 a month and then upwards, depending on how many clients or how many hours they have. How did you come up with the structure and then be able to maintain that again during a pandemic?
I mean, for me, I really did the research. In combination with the research, it had to be worth my time, honestly. I mean, I'm a healthcare administrator, so technically I make what people would call good money. But obviously being a virtual assistant increases that flexibility for me when I'm looking for an additional stream of income. So the time and the work that I did always had to make sense for me. Can people get virtual assistants from the Philippines and India and things like that for $10, $5 an hour? Absolutely. But I have clients that come to me when that option didn't work for them. When they want virtual assistants from the United States, they want someone who can understand and speak their language from a copy standpoint, from a social media standpoint, where they don't have to overly explain things. That's why they come to Elevated Assist, because I'm experiencing some of the things that they want to get done. And during my process of having clients, my clients were like, okay, we've had virtual assistants before, but not quite like Elevated Assist. I need for you to come out with a digital product, a course or something to teach people how to become virtual assistants. So I was just like, okay, sure. Like, I'll put out a digital product. I'm all about, passive income, but also I want to teach people. Like 5 years ago, I knew nothing about being a virtual assistant and looking at it as a realistic career option for people, or a realistic side hustle for people. So I put out my course as a pre-sale at the beginning of the year. I did like a thread on Twitter on ways you can become a virtual assistant. Next thing I know, I get 3 sales, and I'm just like, like barely any promotion. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I have something here. Maybe I have something here. So I started being a little bit more active in how I put the product out there and tell people about how they can make money as virtual assistants. Next thing I know, I think we're at 900 people that I've, yeah, like 900 people this year alone that I've taught how to become virtual assistants. And you know, they're getting results. Literally do the steps that I've outlined within the course and you'll be successful. But again, a lot of people that may take the program, they're a little bit fearful of starting a business. Entrepreneurship is new for a lot of people. So for me, it was important for me not to only put out a digital product for you all just to take and we never talk again. So in addition to the course, I built a community of Slack where we can talk on a regular basis. Like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing for your business this week? Like, what are we working on? Because you need to be promoting, you need to be working on your business every single day, especially if you still had a 9 to 5 and you've made this investment with me. And I'm telling you, you can make your investment back if you do what I tell you to do in the course.
Exactly right. And that's what I was going to hit on is there's one thing to know how to do I'll call it the tactical things associated with virtual assistant, but there's another thing in running a business, right? And I think a lot of people, those of us that are entrepreneurs, like people think like, oh, they see a picture, this is nice and whatever, but they don't know the behind the scenes to make that picture come to fruition, right? So what do you find for folks that like, oh, okay, raise my hand, I want to make $1,000 a month. They go through your course, they learn it, but what's the business piece that you find that it'd be great for people to really take heed to right away? Is it the marketing? Is it the understanding the turnaround time? Like what is it that you feel that still there's an area of opportunity for those that come on that know how to be the administrator or administrative assistant or virtual assistant, but don't know the business component? Like, is there one common thread that you see?
I think the common thread is definitely the marketing piece and the emphasis that I put on putting yourself out there that people aren't ready for. In creating social media accounts, like we've gotten to double-digit clients and we still haven't even established our website yet.
Wow.
So giving people free options, like first, create your Facebook page, create your Instagram page, and they create it, but like, I don't want people to really know that they're still very, very fearful to actually put themselves out there and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. So, they go through the course and then when it's actually like promoting themselves, right? Some people have a hard time talking about themselves, what they have going on. So that's why we have the Slack group. We're honestly holding people accountable. Like, okay, mentally, how are you doing this week, right? Like, how is it going? Like you were very excited taking the course, you did the homework, but now it's like really time to execute. Yes. And then, some people just let fear be a prison for them. So we're constantly motivating people. But then there's people who's just like, scared money don't make no money. So I'm gonna put myself out there and they get really, really good results. One of my students that took the course in January, she said, I just hit my first 5-figure month as a virtual assistant. I cannot believe it. Like, thank you. And then you have people who took after, my course is pre-recorded now. So they get through the weekend, finish the course, do the homework. 2 weeks, they got 4 clients. Wow. Because they did because you have to understand you have an online business. So anyone with internet access has access to you. I've had clients in Germany before. I've had clients in South Korea before, clients I've never met before, but it's all about making those connections and actually looking like you have a business online. So my students that say, oh, I haven't had a client yet. I was like, send me your website, send me your social media. And I can tell why you don't have a client. I can tell because you're not doing what I told you to telling you to do in the class. And, I asked them, how can I add value to you? I'm constantly adding new material to the class because there's so much that you can learn as a virtual assistant. And people have to understand, you may be a virtual assistant this year. 2 years from now, you may be a business coach, but you've been able to evolve your business, learn what entrepreneurs need. You may be a systems and automations consultant. The foundation is being a virtual assistant and monetizing your skill set.
I love it. And that's what I love most about, as I learned about your business, is that, okay, yes, you are a virtual assistant, you own the agency, you have taught, now you said 900 plus folks, but then you're also concerned about their growth, right? So when there's a minimum of $1,000 a month that they can make, but that number can grow depending on how they execute on the things you taught and how they service their clients. So I love that you stay engaged with them through, is it Slack, did you say that you have the membership?
Yeah, in Slack.
Yeah. So through that, so talk a little bit about that. So they take your course, and then how do they stay connected with you in this group opportunity?
Yeah, so after you purchase the course, in the next 24 or 48 hours, I add them to the Slack group. And the big bonus, in addition to creating community, I post job opportunities. Well, I don't post it, but we post job opportunities in the week every single Tuesday. So not only am I teaching you how to get your own clients, I'm also bringing opportunities to you to apply to. So, because everyone doesn't want to create an agency, right? They're okay with just being a virtual assistant, getting a little cash on the side, and that's completely fine. And also, some other people just want to work for agencies so they can get that comfort level of what it's like being a virtual assistant. So I want to be able to bring opportunities to them, but I don't want people to overthink it. I don't think it's complex, but you do have to put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm a business owner. This is what I'm doing. Let me show you how I can provide solutions and value to your business.
Okay. And you said Slack, and I know I said it too. For those that may not know what Slack is, tell them what that is. Like what is Slack? They're gonna access to
So
Slack.
yeah, Slack is like a community tool, a communication tool, similar to like your Facebook groups or any type of social media groups, but it's on a completely different platform. There's different options out there. Just Slack just made the most sense for me. You can create private groups and as well as public groups that have to be added within that category into Slack. So yeah, we're conversing through there on a regular basis, on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, and yeah, I think people tell me all the time, the course is worth the community alone. And people were dragging me the other day telling me I need to raise the price. So today's price might not be tomorrow's price. We don't know.
Heard it here. So I'm telling you right now that I tweeted about this the other day too, is execution. There's people that go to courses, conferences, meetings, and write a whole bunch of notes or whatever they do, talk about how well it was, but then execute when you leave. You have to
Absolutely.
execute if you want to see results. You have to execute. And if things don't go the way you want, execute on the next thing. Like just
Right.
continue execution. That is the word for the balance of 2021. Execute, execute,
Yeah,
execute.
and that's actually what I tell my students because you're not going your business is not going to be perfect off the bat. It's
Right.
not elevated assist is not perfect. We probably won't come out with the website until maybe quarter four,
Mhm.
like because we have I mean we're growing so rapidly, so we're just trying to position ourselves correctly where we can take on even more clients and hire and do all of those things. But execute. Ambition is great, and ambition is wonderful, but without execution you're really just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. So I'm telling them put it out there and see what happens. And it's so funny because students will take my course and be like, I can't believe I got a client, like I can't believe I'm getting discovery calls. I'm like, what did you think was going to happen when you took my course?
Isn't that the whole point?
That is literally the whole point. So, and we also talk through growing pains. We talk through, things that may have not worked out so well, or, someone wrote in Slack yesterday, a client paid me, they signed the agreement, but I have not heard from the client. So again, having that continued support where people are like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah,
Right.
love
I
that.
think is one of the most valuable opportunities within the Slack group. So
I love that. Now, who would be, so two sides? Who would be perfect as like? Is there a certain personality trait that you need to be a virtual assistant, and then follow that up with which businesses? So, which type of businesses could benefit from having a virtual assistant on their team?
for sure, for sure. So pretty well, I'll answer the first question first. So I think honestly, I truly believe anybody can be a virtual assistant. So when you're working with small business owners and clients, the way that we have set up with Elevated Assist currently, not saying that will always be our business model, but we currently work with small business owners. I think with any business partnership, you need to find someone that you are compatible with. And I do not like to force partnerships just so I can have your money. I can usually tell in the very beginning during the discovery calls if it's going to work or not. If you're a timid person who you don't want to have someone who's super loud, rambunctious, that might not be a good client for you because you don't want your client to annoy you. You don't want a client that's going to be a headache. The money shouldn't be stressful for you.
That's
So
right.
find someone that matches your vibe, as well as you're able to provide what they need, like what they're requiring within the virtual assistant. You're able to do that work. But I always say anybody can be a virtual assistant. You have a customer support related job before, stay-at-home moms. You know, they hold down the house, they multitask.
Yeah.
So there'll be stay-at-home parents that'll say, I don't know if I can be a virtual assistant. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can run a whole household. You know where everyone is and where they need to be. You're a perfect person that can be a virtual assistant. I mean, even students, I even have students a part of my agency that work on things between classes. And I like having the different perspectives of people. I have moms on my team. I have students on my team. I have a guy that's a freaking engineer on my team. It's like having those different qualities on your team creates a more well-rounded team, and you can bring all that experience together. But even students, they know what's going on with TikTok, they know what's going on with all the apps. They have come with a different perspective. So I'm okay with hiring people that are a little bit younger, that may still be in college, but also understanding moms and needing an extra stream of income as well. So I honestly believe anyone can become a virtual assistant.
And before you answer the second piece, the thing that I see you bring forth a lot too is you can do it whenever you want. So even though you have a client that their business may run 9 to 5, let's just call it, not their 9 to 5, meaning that's the hours of the small business owner that you may be serving, but you may be able to do tasks for them at midnight, or when the kids go to bed, or when after the kids go off to school on the bus, you can do those tasks. And then so it's the getting your time back and understanding what you have to do for your client and making sure you meet the deliverables. So that's, again, owning your time is a real wonderful component of being a virtual assistant. So now talk about who could benefit from having a virtual assistant as a business owner. Like I would say it's any business. Would you agree with that? Or is there certain businesses maybe it's not a great fit for?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If we have a real conversation about where we are as a society from a labor standpoint, there's labor shortages everywhere. I would say right now is probably the best time ever to become a virtual assistant. If you notice, like everywhere you go, there's hiring signs pretty much at every business. So they can only do that for so long, where people are just not going to be applying to jobs, not going to be going to jobs. So if they're not going to automate it, I guarantee you they're going to outsource their work, whether it's in the United States or whether it's outside of the country. So I think it's a great time to pivot yourself as a virtual assistant. There are different organizations and larger companies that will hire a group of virtual assistants, that whether it's like a call center or someone that just does certain tasks for their business, it's still going to be a cheaper option for them regardless of hiring a regular employee. In addition to larger organizations that can benefit as a virtual assistant, again, small business owners, like I work with influencers, we have lawyers, real estate investors, social media influencers, different brands and stuff that we work with from a virtual assistant or social media standpoint, because they cannot do it alone, nor do they want to do it alone. And they can afford to have a virtual assistant on their team. I mean, I have clients that make, upward of $50,000 a month. You think they don't want to pay $1,000, $2,000 a month to get some extra help?
Yeah.
Of course they will. People are paying for convenience. I pay for convenience.
Yes.
So you have to identify, like, what value do you bring to that client, to that business owner, so they can pay you on a regular basis. So you just have to look at it as, what value do I add? What transferable skills do I have that I can pull from past positions, whether it's in customer service or not, and create a package that makes sense for your ideal client.
Yeah. And then so again, as I said at the top of this, if you're in business, you should operate in your zone of genius. And if that is not doing the administrative task, hopefully your business can afford to bring on a virtual assistant, and you will go to elevated assist here. I am telling you, owning your time is so very important. And being a virtual assistant, as Annalisa said, she can teach you soup to nuts, and she stays connected with you. So if you're thinking about, how do I gain more money, even if you have bills that you need to pay off, maybe earning some doing a virtual assistant work can help you take care of that thing that do not have to interrupt your budget. That money can be specifically for taking care of things that you've been trying to take care of for some time. So Annalisa, I know that folks are going to want to get a hold of you once they listen to this. But before we talk about how they do that, give them one last word. What do you have to say to somebody that has been thinking about how they make extra money to either pay off debt, to live their best life, to go on vacation? Tell them how virtual assistant can help them do that. What's that last thing that you would like to say to them?
Absolutely. I would say do it.
Yes.
I mean, my course it's really giving you the blueprint. I mean, if you feel like you're not going to execute, then don't take the course, but I'm giving you a step-by-step of what that looks like. My results alone show that this can be done. I've had people who've been able to pay off debt while they've been a virtual assistant because they still have their 9 to 5. I've had people that's been able to fire their boss and completely replace their 9 to 5 income, but they're getting their time back, right? There's some fear within being an entrepreneur, but being able to wake up and kind of do what you want, work on things while you're getting other things done is really unmatched and something that usually your 9 to 5 can't provide. In addition to be able to make money from anywhere, I have people who are virtual assistants that are moms and it works well for them, but I can't tell that story. I'm not a mom, but I'm the want to get up and go fly on a plane, travel, want to be in a different city every weekend, and letting you know that that can be done as well. So it's so many different options with being a virtual assistant and really being able to make money on your own time. You can make more than $1,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. We easily been able to do it, and we've been able to scale very, very quickly and realize that there are a lot of people that need virtual assistants. And again, my price today is probably not going to be my price tomorrow, but it's all about focusing on what value you can add to someone. How can you monetize your skill set? What value are you already adding to people? What are they already coming to you for as an expert? And how can you monetize that? Because you want to do something that you want to be able to do something that's really not complex, but you also want to make sure you're adding value to someone else.
Yes. And Annalisa, if you're not following her, make sure you do so. She's going to tell you how to do that. But she'll be in a different city, sitting on the side of a pool, getting her work done. So she truly lives what she's telling you. You can live your best life, do your work from anywhere, service your clients, and still enjoy life. So I love that. So Annalisa, where can they find you? Where can they find this course? Where can they find you? Tell them how to find you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Just Annalisa. That's JustAnnalisa. There's reviews there. There's highlights pertaining to my course. I think my reviews speak to them for myself. Feel free to reach out to any of my prior students. We do have a good time, and it's about building engagement. We have quarterly virtual happy hours where we can just have fun and get to know each other. We may have some meet and greets in the future because these are people you're talking to every day. They're almost like your work friends. And if you're looking for the course on how to make money from anywhere as a virtual assistant, feel free to take a look in the notes on this video, and then that can give you access to the course. There's a couple of different options there. You get the course in the community for one price, but if you want a one-on-one coaching call with me, the community, and the course, there's an additional option for that as well. So definitely take advantage of the course. Again, I don't know what price it's going to be when you watch this video. Please take advantage of it when you do, because the price will continue to go up as we continue to add value and really just be able to help more and more people. So again, I've been able to help over 900 people at this point start their virtual assistant business, create an additional stream of income for them and their family. And then if you're interested in a virtual assistant or social media manager, and working with Elevated Assist, we're recording this video in August. We are not accepting any more clients in the month of August.
Oh, you heard it here. Wait, hold on. Like, we're about to end, but I have to say this. Now, this is something. When you have a business that's doing well, where you can say, yeah, I just can't take on anymore because I am overloaded. I love that.
Yes,
but wait, tell them again what you just said. Sorry to interrupt.
We are not. If you're interested in a virtual assistant or social media manager, we're recording this video in August. Check with us next month. We are currently not taking any more clients. We're really focused on automating a lot of things in the background, systems, automation, just getting more organized, onboarding and training the right virtual assistants so we can provide, even more value to people that we work with. But yeah, feel free to get on my calendar if you're curious. We won't be signing any additional contracts this month because we're just focusing on improving the business and continue to add value to our current clients. But if you're interested, if you follow me on Instagram, you can click the link in the bio. You can also follow Elevated Assist on Instagram to just see some reviews for some of our current and past clients and some of the services that we offer to help take things off the plate for many entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. So you heard it here. So if you didn't get anything else from this episode, know that you can earn a minimum of $1,000 a month being a virtual assistant, and you can do that from the comfort of your own home, on the couch, from on the side of a pool, wherever you want to do it. You can service your clients as long as you have a computer and probably a phone. And so know that you can do it. And then the second thing you need to get is, if you need to know how to do it, you can get it soup to nuts by taking Annalisa's course. So you can drop down in the bottom in the show notes if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms, you can drop down in the show notes. The link will be there. You can click right there and jump in and grab our course. And then the great thing about that is there's a community where you involved where Annalisa comes in there, not just with other virtual assistants, which is also great, but she comes in there, the teacher, and answers your questions, provides information and job opportunities. So even though you have to execute on your own and try to get your own clients, many clients come to her. She just said she can't take any more on. So when she gets requests, she puts those in her community. So you have opportunity to grab clients from folks that are looking for clients. So it's not like you even have to go after them. They are looking for your services. So make sure you check this out. Anybody can be a virtual assistant, and if you're a business owner and need one, you know where to go. So thanks again for listening to It's My Money with Patrina Dixon, or The Money Exchange. My name is Patrina Dixon. I am your personal finance coach. I have many programs and digital products available. They'll be in the show notes as well. Make sure if you don't do anything else, you grab the checklist. The checklist have 9 tips to help you execute on some things that can immediately change your financial situation. And then if you want to make an investment, you want to grab that workbook or grab my course. Again, this is Patrina Dixon. Thank you for tuning in.